Learn English through a simple life story. Listen and improve your English every day.
Steve Jobs is remembered as one of the most influential innovators of the modern world, a man whose ideas helped shape the way people communicate, work, and live. To many, he represents creativity, bold thinking, and technological brilliance. However, the story of Steve Jobs is not a simple tale of success. It is a story filled with uncertainty, failure, rejection, and constant reinvention. And it is precisely these struggles that make his journey meaningful. Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in California. His biological parents were young and financially unstable, and they felt unable to raise a child. As a result, Steve was placed for adoption. A couple named Paul and Clara Jobs welcomed him into their home and promised to provide him with a loving and supportive upbringing. From an early age, Steve showed a deep curiosity about the world around him. He enjoyed exploring how things worked and often took apart electronics just to see what was inside. His father spent many hours teaching him how to build and repair simple devices in their garage. Without realizing it, Steve was learning the foundation of engineering. More importantly, he was learning to love the process of creation. At school, Steve was intelligent but restless. He became bored easily and struggled to fit into traditional classroom structures. He disliked authority and questioned rules that did not make sense to him. While some teachers viewed him as troublesome, others recognized his potential. Even as a teenager, Steve felt that he was meant to do something extraordinary. After graduating from high school, Steve enrolled in college. Yet he quickly realized that formal education did not align with his interests. He did not want to spend years studying subjects that felt disconnected from his passions. So, after only one semester, he dropped out. Although this decision disappointed his parents, Steve believed it was necessary. Despite leaving college, he continued to attend classes that fascinated him. One of these classes was calligraphy. He studied typography, spacing, and design. At the time, he had no idea how important these lessons would become. Years later, the Macintosh computer would be the first computer to offer beautifully designed fonts. What once seemed pointless later became revolutionary. Around this time, Steve formed a close friendship with Steve Wozniak. Wozniak was a gifted engineer who loved building computers. Together, they shared a bold vision. They wanted to create affordable, user-friendly computers for ordinary people. In 1976, working out of Steve Jobs' parents' garage, they founded Apple. They had limited resources, minimal business experience, and countless doubts from others. But they also had determination. Their first product, the Apple I, was simple, yet promising. Soon after, they released the Apple II. It became one of the first successful personal computers in history. Apple grew rapidly. Steve Jobs became a millionaire in his early 20s. To the outside world, he appeared to have everything. Yet success brought new challenges. Steve was known for being demanding and uncompromising. He expected perfection from himself and from others. While this attitude pushed innovation, it also created tension. Conflicts grew inside Apple. Disagreements about leadership and direction became intense. In 1985, something unimaginable happened. Steve Jobs was removed from the company he helped create. He was fired from Apple. For Steve, this experience was devastating. He felt embarrassed, rejected, and deeply hurt. For months, he questioned his identity and purpose. However, over time, he began to view this painful experience differently. He later described it as the most valuable lesson of his life. After leaving Apple, Steve founded a new company called Next. The company focused on advanced computers for universities and businesses. Although the technology was impressive, sales were disappointing. Many critics believed Steve's career was finished. At the same time, Steve purchased a small animation studio. That studio became Pixar. Under his leadership, Pixar produced Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated feature film. The movie became a global success. Pixar changed the film industry forever. Once again, Steve Jobs proved that innovation often comes from unexpected places. By the mid-1990s, Apple was struggling. The company was losing money and relevance. In desperation, Apple acquired Next, which brought Steve Jobs back. Soon, he became CEO once again. This time, Steve returned wiser and more focused. He simplified Apple's product lineup. He eliminated unnecessary projects. He concentrated on design, usability, and emotional connection. The results were remarkable. Apple released the iMac, then came the iPod, then iTunes, then the iPhone. Each product redefined its industry. Apple transformed into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Despite professional success, Steve's personal life remained complex. He struggled with relationships and often wrestled with his own emotions. In 2004, he was diagnosed with cancer. Although his health declined, Steve continued working. He believed deeply in Apple's mission. He wanted to leave behind products that would outlive him. Steve Jobs passed away in 2011. The world mourned the loss of a visionary. Yet his ideas continue to shape modern technology. Steve Jobs' life teaches us powerful lessons. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Rejection does not define you. It redirects you. Your mistakes do not end your story. They refine it.